Startups get the party, startups get the party started. Startups get the party, startups get the party started. You want tech and tacos, tacos and tech, you know we got it, eh? Startups get the party, startups get the party started. Startups get the party, startups get the party started. Startups get the party, startups get the party started. You want tech and tacos, tacos and tech, you know we got it, eh?
And welcome back to the Tacos and Tech podcast. I'm your host, Neal Bloom, and I am thrilled to have on one of the taco kings of San Diego. We're going to flip this episode on its head. Alex Adler, co-founder of Puesto. Hey, Alex, thanks for being on the pod.
Well, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's this seems like a natural podcast for us. We may not be as much tech as usual, but definitely I think the taco part we're probably probably a perfect fit. So I'm excited to be here.
We've been talking about this for a bit. I feel like we met pre-COVID. Maybe it was only 3 locations of Puesto, and we actually talked a little bit like what tech was going into Puesto. But man, I feel like you really come into your own as a business, really grown up in it to a certain regard, right? Had like a second or third generation as a business. Sound right?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because we talked pre-COVID, and then it's like everything was going in the right direction. You were starting to think about how SEO and everything affects restaurants, which it's usually a little dated for restaurants. We're laggers when it comes to technology, but we were trying to be ahead of it. Then COVID hits and it's like pause on everything because all our doors are closed. We can't serve anybody in California, and then we come out of it, and now we're just picking up everything that's going on. Getting back into the marketing, getting back into how we present ourselves with our guests, and then now we get hit with AI, and we're like, oh wow. How's that going to affect our business? So it's exciting times.
Ooh, all right, we got a lot to talk about. And we've been doing events here we are live at the Mission Valley Puesto. We've been doing, for whatever reason, we've done a bunch of fintech founder gatherings here, both at the outside patio and one of the private rooms. It's been awesome. I think we have another one coming up that we're booking here. This seems to be a good spot because fintech, apparently there's North County and there's downtown. So it's a good meeting spot in between. But let's take it all the way back. Like, where does this all begin? Do you have restaurants in your family? Like, how'd you come into this part of the world of business?
No, so I think it was probably the last sort of industry that our family was thinking we would get into. Our family was in real estate. Prior to that, they were in Mexico. They worked in consumer products, more on the electronic side, radios, things like that, alarms. That business ends. They moved to San Diego, talking 40 plus years ago, and create something that's a little more stable with the real estate, and go from one unit, build it up, and get to where they got. And I think for us, we loved it and we were passionate about it, but we also had this other calling of working with people, doing something that can create memories and create something that's lasting. And to us, the vision came through hospitality. I think it was again something that we never imagined. Zero restaurant background getting into it, but now we're almost on year 14. So
oh, wow.
It's been a journey.
And it sounds like it's a family affair, family business to a certain
It is family 100%. Myself, brothers, cousins. So it really is strictly a family business, and we joke. A lot of people that work with us, they're part. I guess it's not a joke. They are part of the family, and sometimes we're in meetings. They're like, "Oh, are you guys brothers?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he's also our long lost brother as well, because it's just a lot of family.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot learned in business with doing business with people, and if you already have a relationship with them, it goes a long way to a certain degree. That's for sure. Actually, my family multi-generational in the restaurant business, up in LA in the hamburger business. Actually, my grandpa had a butcher shop, then started a hamburger stand, and then my dad took it over, and I was working in it as a kid. And then they got into real estate because they started buying the land that their burger joints were on. So I understand a little bit of that of growing up, and I ended up going down a different path. But take us through, like, what was the spark? Like, when did you actually think Puesto?
I think Puesto really came through just the meals we would have at home. Being Mexican American, first generation, our family from Monterrey and Guadalajara. and really this feeling that everything done outside of our home was done poorly, bad ingredients, bad quality. For us, the taco, if the tortilla is bad and isn't made in the moment, you're just doing it a disservice. It's literally like a burger or sandwich. If it doesn't have the right patty or bread, like, you already lost, which I think a lot of people miss. And we had this feeling that it was, the taco in 2011, when we started coming up with the idea, was done poorly in San Diego, which is 15 minutes from the border. Like, this should be the pinnacle of the United States. And then it also came through our chef and partner, who was doing these events that were literally just based on the taco and making that the hero of everything. The chefs were in white chef's coats. They were wearing the hats that you would imagine from Ratatouille, or and white tablecloth, and just everything was done very elegantly, and something that tacos had never experienced. But I do know during that time, these events were pretty much 300 plus of them he was doing a year. It was kind of like the talk of the town, and you were excited if you got an invite. And if you didn't get one, you were looking at how you could join those events or just sneak your way in, because the only way to get them was there. So for us, we had, the passion. It hit us seeing it in person, and it was just that drive of how do we put it in a brick and mortar and give people what they want every day rather than through that. And as the story goes, I mean, our chef also was a hairstylist. And my mom and my oldest brother Eric went to meet him at his salon and pitch him there, and that's where it really began and gave us the I guess proof of concept that there was a hole in the market for something like this, and was the start.
Wow. Was there like a validation kitchen test with an audience, or did you go straight to first full whole restaurant and everything?
It was a stand in our house that he came and just cooked. But at the end of the day, we had seen it so many times in events, and being that success that people would literally go back 8 times to get tacos during an event and just keep going and going, because the reality is the taco, when it's coming off the plancha with the crispy melted cheese, which was, again, in Mexico, a costra or however you want to call it, was a thing. But in San Diego, I mean, I would argue we were probably first to bring it here, and it's became our signature and what we were known for. So we had a good feeling, I would say.
Yeah. Interesting. So where was first location?
La Jolla.
Okay. Right there in the village.
Yeah, La Jolla on Wall Street. And funny enough, you look at it now and you're like, well, it's the pinnacle of La Jolla. It's got Burger Lounge. Marisi's there now, which is ours as well. There's, great sushi concepts. Himitsu's there, Marketplace. There's just a lot of food going around in that area. But back when we opened, I mean, our space was a mortgage bank. Burger Lounge was just getting started, so there really wasn't a lot going on. But the drive was, it's somewhere that we feel has a lot of opportunity, has a lot of, tourism that can bolster the business, but then also we can just be hands-on. Because at the beginning, it was literally us working the business every day.
Really? Wow. What was your role? What was the first, or what did you not do? Probably, honestly, right?
No, we joke. My brother Alan was on the plancha. He was great with the cheese rolls. I was on, pretty much they would pass it to me, garnish, cold station, everything to complete it, and then pass it to the POS or the payment where my brother Eric was. And now, we have full bar. Margaritas are a thing. Back then, we would sell one sculpin and start ringing, almost like ringing a bell. Like, sold the $7 sculpin, and we were ecstatic. So it's come a long way.
Yeah, it's come a long way. Wow. How did you know you were onto something and you're ready to scale and grow? Like, what are those things that go through your head around that?
I think, you get a lot of confirmation from people and just seeing the lines. And, I think we took a leap of faith because we realized, one location's never going to be, the money maker. Like, at the end of the day, you can have sales and you can look busy and everyone from the outside is going to think that you're doing great, but we're a big family. So it was going to take more than one. And really, I think it was betting on ourselves, the concept, and the reality that we were fortunate from day one. We had a following and people were excited about it. And that carried us into, just having the courage to follow the passion and open up our large, very large location at the time, which was Puesto downtown at the headquarters. And even crazier was get involved with the landlord's request to, that they really would like to see full service too, and us think, well, we'll operate both at the same time with full bar, see where it goes, which was actually, I guess, the first pivot in the company history, which, that's, you talk about businesses 14 years in and all these pivots that are monumental. That was it, because now we're a full service all around.
So headquarters was the second location,
Yes.
then Mission Valley?
No, so we went to headquarters. Then we actually went to Orange County. We opened up a couple there. Then we went to Santa Clara, all the way in the Bay, opened there. Then in COVID, we ended up opening up another two, which was Mission Valley and Anaheim at the same time. So it was a weird timing where everything's closed, but you're already under construction, fully committed, and you just keep going and pushing ahead.
Totally. Along the way, not just scaling, growing, you're kind of writing playbooks, right? Do you kind of remember some of that, of just like the operational excellence? I'm guessing they're still there today, but like, what do you remember streamlining?
It's still there today. I mean, I think what's interesting is it never, I think your values, your mission, things like that, your culture carry, but in regards to playbooks, it's just constantly being reinvented every day. It's just, we went from a company that was, us working the line, having our first, I guess you would call it like lead coming from Panera across the street, and we were super happy and excited when we got to hire her, to now this place where we have, there's over 800 team members. We have these multi-locations, the environment constantly changing for better or worse, and we just have to roll with it. And again, like, the culture is the key, because we stick to that, and it's still the same principles from the beginning, but playbook is every day's a school day here, so it's great.
What related to that, like innovation wise, like what have you seen the industry change? Obviously, point of sale and some of that from 14 years ago didn't exist, right? The Toasts and the Olos and all those. But what else? What have you seen come in to kind of help you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think you touched on probably the largest one for us is Toast. I mean, Toast was we were part of the old days where everyone would bring in Aloha or micros and pay hundreds of thousands to put the systems in. You had pretty much these bricks that you couldn't sell to anybody for anything, and you ran with them. You wanted tablets, there were thousands and thousands per tablet, so it wasn't really viable. They also weren't made by them, so it never synced properly to this world where everything is connected now through Toast. And to us, that's probably, it's the number one thing we use in regards to all payments go through there, loyalty goes through there. It's synced through DoorDash or any delivery service you want to use, OpenTable. I think that's what's come the furthest, is that now you have all these tools that are all synced and actually working together to benefit you, to the point where we have all this information that's great, but we're like, wow, how do we use this? Because there's a lot coming our way in the best way possible.
Yeah. Along the way, also the experience for the customer with DoorDash.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, COVID like accelerated that.
Yeah.
What's that been like in terms of how do you scale the experience when you're outside the physical walls of this place?
I think we're a unique example, because we're full service, but we still offer the delivery experience. You have the challenge of you're operating the business. Usually, it's not like orders will come in when it's convenient for you. They're going to come in at the same time as diners for the most part. So you're juggling both. But what you just have to do is put in all the fail safes you can, packaging, testing your SOPs for how it's going down from when the order comes in to who's putting it together to where it's going, how it's getting picked up, getting it as fast as possible to the DoorDasher, and then once it's in their hands, pretty much just pray. But I think you had to COVID kind of made you adopt it, and then coming out of it, you had to decide if you're going to keep going with it. And for us, I heard this line actually from the CEO of DoorDash. Was literally, they asked him if he was scared that after coming out of COVID, was he going to see the decline like some of the Zooms or things like that? Like Zoom today is no longer, it's back to Hangouts or Teams or whatever it may be. But he answered perfect. He said convenience only goes one way. So when you hear that, you're like, yeah, he's right. Like, at the end of the day, they're big believers that people are going to dine out still, and they're going to enjoy their time because they do want that interaction and excitement. But there's always going to be that time and place where I'm home, I want to relax, I had a long day or whatever it may be, and I'm going to order in. And they're fine with that.
Yeah, interesting. It's interesting you talk about Toast kind of being maybe the one winner there for you guys. But the delivery services, I feel like it's everywhere. Uber Eats, DoorDash, or maybe it's just the two. I don't know. Like, is there that side kind of settled in to a winner?
In our opinion, we went strictly DoorDash. I think our business is, again, since we focus on full service as well, we wanted to streamline it to whoever we thought was dominant, which for us it's DoorDash. In our market specifically, I think there's more money to be made if we open it up, but it's not worth the risk of having to sacrifice on the experience here. And I think they all won, but from our side, I guess just the most pivotal of them is just Toast, because it's literally the brain for everything, and everything's syncing through there. I don't even have a DoorDash tablet here. It's all going through my Toast.
Got it. The other innovation I think about is food and drink, like what's maybe just personal preference, what's changed, but sometimes it's the innovators bringing it to them, like plant-based protein, or even now the rise of non-alcoholic drinking, right? And these adaptogen-based drinks. Like, how have you ridden the wave of, the food, the menu, and the drink around consumer preference?
There's been a lot of changes, and I think the thing about it is you have to play, it's the fine line of the hits and not moving too fast or too far, but then also innovating, because some guests want that, some don't. Some want the filet mignon taco, which is our number one. So we've been really just treading the line of things we really think are here to stay and are excited about. Example, non-alcoholic. We think that's here to stay. So we really leaned into that. But before doing it, I think if it's going to be done, it has to be done to the same level as our margaritas or any of our cocktails. So that's kind of the balance we play. Like, we're not just going to throw, juice in a cup and charge you $14. Like, we're going to literally, here we tried every non-alcoholic tequila brand on the market and hated them all. To the point we actually created our own blend that tastes as close to tequila as we can using our own products. I mean, it's got some crazy things that our VP of Bar and Spirits created. I mean, down to like using our esquite and different teas and different things like that he combined. And when you try our non-alcoholic margarita, you're like, oh, that's pretty close. It's not alcohol, but it's pretty close.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Really interesting. What about, okay, let's talk like tacos for a second. We got it for a while because people got preferences. And in San Diego, there's like all these different subcultures of tacos, right? Fish tacos, one whole area. Birria tacos, another whole area. Then you've got the classic California burritos, so potatoes in your Mexican food. How do you look at all these little subculture clusters under the taco banner?
I mean, I think what happens is when it comes to full service and tacos, there's not a lot of players in our world. Then you have all these other amazing taco concepts doing, like you said, specializing. They're the best for birria, they're the best for seafood, whatever it may be. And so our job is just to pretty much stick to what's going on in the market and like birria had its moment. So when that happens, like, we have to have the best version of birria that we can produce and we're really proud of on our menu. But again, our goal is with our 12 tacos that we always have there, we're going to hit all those segments. So instead of being just dedicated to that area, like, we want to pretty much hit the segments that are trending while keeping half of the tacos staying consistent to what people come for and love.
So the Al Pastor being another area, right?
And that was from the beginning. So for us, funny enough, our Al Pastor is chicken, which everyone's always like, why did that happen? Well, it happened because a lot of the events were predominantly Jewish, and they couldn't do pork. So this chef, he's not Jewish, but right away he said, you know what, I'm just going to make a chicken Al Pastor. We came to love it from the beginning, and that's a staple from literally the start.
That's interesting. I actually was just at Tacos El Gordo. They don't have a chicken. They only have pork and beef. Yeah. They have a lot of weird beef, by the way. Beef head, beef brain. Anyway.
Yeah. Which is another. I mean, I love it. Like, tongue, lengua. Like
Yeah.
I'm down with it, but it's also the fine line that we have to play of. We're authentic. You know, our chef is from Mexico City. He's been with us since the beginning. Like everything we follow is true to Mexico, but we also have to realize what the guest in our markets wants and not go too far.
Yeah.
Like we've done it before. We put, you know, examples, things like lengua, and you know, just didn't get the sales. So
Interesting.
so yeah.
Some of the like the vegetarian ones, I know the mushroom, I feel like there's been some other ones that have come through too, right? You've tried vegetarian, squash blossom,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
What else has kind of come through innovation-wise for you guys for that?
I'm trying to think of the plus and minuses, but really what the best avenue we always had for this was Taco of the Month, which we just recently brought back. It was another COVID casualty that is back now.
Cool.
But that, you know, I think in a couple months I'll give you some more headlines, but pretty much everything that hits the menu was tested there.
Okay.
And that gave us the confidence based on movement and excitement. And so when it hit the menu, we're pretty sure.
Yeah. So you mentioned Birria had its moment. Like what's the next taco trend that you're seeing?
The next taco trend, well, the current one right now is kind of just like the steak. Like it's either a trompo or kind of just, you know, skirts, whatever steak you want to use, where it's just like flat, and it's just, I think Mexican food is heading to a stage where you just want to like highlight great ingredients, which is kind of what we stood for from the beginning. So if you look in Mexico City, it's literally just, you know, it's a great tortilla, a great piece of meat, your salsas, maybe escabeche on top or whatever you want, but it's pretty simple. So it's almost like taking the classic, which was just like carne asada with onions and cilantro, and this new version that's more refined and delicate, I guess. It's something that's the trend we've been seeing a lot coming out of Mexico, and we added it to our menu on the last menu change actually.
Really?
So it's our ribeye taco. We actually call it the CDMX because based on Mexico City.
Delicious. I've had it. So good. I actually go back and forth to the filet mignon and the ribeye for sure. And isn't there a short rib? There's a short rib one too, right?
Birria.
Right.
Yeah, the Birria, yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Still
Love
there.
all the meat tacos for
Yeah.
sure. Where else? Where are you guys headed over? I mean, I know expansion. You guys
Yep.
have definitely looked at other places. Where else are you headed that you can give us a glimpse into?
Yeah, we're, you know, as a group, it's an interesting time because we have Puesto, we have Marisi, we have Romana Norte, which is our bar concept downtown. So this year we have three projects slated. The highlight, I guess, they're all highlights, but Puesto wise, we have one that's going to be opening up next to the Padel courts in the Alexandria property, which we're really excited about. It's going to be great. Sereno Valley. They're great partners, and it's going to be kind of an homage to the past of more of a fast casual version of Puesto, 3,000 square feet, and bring us back to the roots. So it's going to be fun. Puesto out of state is kind of the headline. You know, we're signed. We'll be releasing a little more on that, but we'll be doing our first out of state this year. And then we have another fine dining concept being created in the San Diego market coming summer of next year. So again, it's an interesting time because we're looking at it as a group now, and there's just a lot going on.
Yeah, that's interesting. Are you finding, is this, well, obviously you've written playbooks, right? And you know how to expand, and now you know how to try other foods, which could be other brands, right?
Yeah.
Everything about opening in Mexico, is that a thing? Is that on the list?
We always joke that we want to go back to the homeland and take Puesto there and see, you know, and see what happens, because at the end of the day, I think our concept is unique even for Mexico City. Like there's amazing taco shops, but nobody's doing, you know, the fine casual, taco being the hero of the menu, but still giving you that experience that we want to give at, you know, we often, you know, if we're going to get dinged, sometimes it's price, but we stand by using, you know, Hacienda tortillas, which is the same as Enrique Olivera. Like our produce and products and everything that's coming in is farms we're proud of and we can actually talk about. So it is what it is, and working in California. So
Yeah.
I think Mexico City would be a great fit. Hopefully, I'd love to.
That would be awesome. Definitely. I mean, it's such a culinary destination, right? And you guys are a destination too. Can we ask your favorite taco? Is that like asking your favorite baby, or is it off limits?
No, you can ask, and unfortunately, it's not going to be as fun as everyone would hope. But it's really the filet mignon. I mean, for me, that's the most. It's filet mignon in a taco is one of those things that everyone's like, "There's no way you're going to do that. Like, are you really going to do that? Are you sure you want to do that?"
Yeah.
So after all, once you get past that, it's just it's incredible. It's super non-fatty, great meat. Filet mignon wrapped in crispy melted cheese, topped with our pistachio serrano salsa. I mean, which again, pistachio, like who thought of that? That was from the beginning. Like it was something, the chef had in his tool belt, and we fell in love with it, and it's stuck to this day. And honestly, it's the sleeper. And when I go to Puesto, I eat the pistachio salsa I order a side of it, and I'm literally pouring it on everything. So, I mean, that's my number one, and still to this day.
Amazing. Do the different taco restaurant owners, is there a gathering? Do people break bread and share notes of the taco scene?
No, I wish there was. I recently found out that the sushi scene has that. All the sushi chefs, like Ken from Ken Sushi, goes with the Himitsu team, and I'm sure Ota joins in, and they go golf together. So I was like, that's pretty cool.
You gotta convene that. You gotta call the taco council together.
Yeah, I was inspired. I was very inspired, but no, not to this day.
Let's get the Lola 55 and a few of those others together who really are, elevating this great food and bringing it to everyone. And really has elevated food to that regard.
Yeah.
We've seen that people eat at 3 a.m., right? To, super nice, like you said, white linen tables. It's pretty cool to be pushing that way. So congrats.
Thank you.
And thanks for being on.
Appreciate
it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Startups get the party started. Startups get the party. Startups get the party started. You want tech and tacos, tacos and tech. You know we got tacos and tech is on smash. For the green guacamole. Keep accountants counting beans. Contador cuentan frijoles. Founders trying to raise some queso. La vida San Diego. School of rappy, rapping fire. Tortillas round jalapenos. In these modern times of craft beer and coffee. My coding yoga posse. Fold the body, origami. We be surfing Coronado. Eating tacos el gordo. The taco stand in Puesto. Lucha libre and sombrero. Gotta shout out Tecos Daniels by the ocean. Watch the sunset. La Jolla shows. Entrepreneurs trying to get funded. When San Diego Startup Week is popping in the summer. Oceanside to Tijuana. SD be full of hustlers. From couch surfing to penthouses right on the beach. Tech leaders who believe stars are within reach. We interviewing founders who be shooting for the moon. Hashtag SD Tecos with your host, Neal Bloom. Come on! Startups get the party. Startups get the party started. Startups get the party. Startups get the party started. Startups get the party. Startups get the party started. You want tech and tacos, tacos and tech. You know we got it. Hey. Startups get the party. Startups get the party started. Startups get the party. Startups get the party started. Startups get the party. Startups get the